In this video I want to show you how to silver plate, in this case a gold chain, in this case bracelet or whatever you call it. Yeah, I think it's a bracelet. Yeah. Anyway, right, let's start. This is a gold plated bracelet, yeah, or chain, I would say, yeah, whatever you call it. It has massive chains. You can see it's quite big. Yeah. And I will show you step to step how to silver plate it, or you can do it. If it's silver, you can do gold plating. It's the same steps basically. Right, first of all I put it in an ultrasonic cleaner for about 8 minutes or so. What is it, 480 seconds, something like this. Yeah, 6-8 minutes will do. I turned the sound a little bit down because it makes a horrible noise, this ultrasonic cleaner. Anyway, I leave it in there for a while, as I said, 8 minutes. When it's done, take it out and then make sure you clean it very well after that, because to get rid of all, you know, the ultrasonic cleaner solution and everything else what is on there, so make sure it is clean. So I put it on the, what I do, hot water out of the tub, washing up liquid, and then wash it very well. Wash it very well, inside and out. I mean, what I do now, I'll turn the chains anti-clockwise in a minute. You will see on this big chains you can do this to get everything out, every single cleaner or whatever is left there, maybe even dirt maybe left. You can see I turn it left, so this means the chains itself opens up. This is how I plate later as well, so you can see the inside, which you normally don't see in the chains. This is very important. I think unless you do a shit job, then some people don't care really. But I try to do it always the best I can do. Inside, outside, everything must be done. Everything must be plated. And it is difficult to plate them ones in a tank, believe it or not, because I think you must turn them. You must turn them in a tank, and you need to stretch them as well. If they're not stretched 100%, then you may lose contact, especially with small chains, like bracelets or necklaces. Make sure it's proper cleaned. So I use hot water and rinse it very, very well. And yeah, as you can see, well, you can't see really, but it is clean, of course. Right, what I do now is I use, first of all, I put a swab on. I'll show you how it works, how I do this with the silver. First of all, I use a little bit of silver solution. This contains this solution, silver brush plating solution. You play between 2.5 and 3.5 volt. I set the rectifier of 3 volt in this case, somewhere in the middle. Use the brand new swab. You can get it from eBay, from my eBay shop, from my website, you know. And carbon electrode, which this one is used, you can see is quite small. It's getting smaller and smaller and thinner. When you use it more and more, and eventually it will break. They're quite fragile, so be careful. So now I soak it because it's fresh, a fresh swab. So what I do now, I soak it very well. Put the cables on, plus cables of course on the handle, minus cable will go on the item of course. So now I soak it very, very well. So how much I put in there? 20 mil maybe, 25 mil, 30 mil. Maybe, I don't know, not much more. The silvers anyway is very cheap. I think it contains 35 grams of silver per liter, and the gold, what I sell is 8 grams or 8 grams in this case. This one is about 30, I think. So it plates very, very quickly, as you will see in a minute. So I had a hole in there anyway, because I've done this of course many times before. I use a 2 millimeter copper wire in this case, which is easy to bend. Put it on there, which I connect in a minute, the minus cable of course on there, and make a little hook, which I can't do with my hands because it's quite thick, so I use a plier, bend it a little bit. It's quite a dirty one, but never mind. So you can get contamination really. Anyway, well, it doesn't matter in this case really. So put the cable on there, put this, hook it in. You know, this is how I do this. This is how, because you need to put it a little bit under pressure, a little bit. Otherwise, you could lose contact while you are plating. You could do it in your hand, and there's another way to do it, but it's not the best way. So you can see it's not the best solution because normally I secure the whole tray somehow. So now I start plating. You can see straight away the color is changing from gold to silver straight away. You can just about see it. Yeah, you can see it just about. Yeah, you can see it now when I turn it. And it goes very quickly on there. So it plates about 1.5, maybe a bit more microns per minute if you plate exactly for 1 minute on the same area, non-stop, and don't move around anywhere else basically. The swaps will eventually, you can see this, tarnish a little bit. They go a little bit yellowish, but there's nothing to worry about, it's normal. So now I try to do, I look always at the rectifier by the way. Now I try to do the rest of the other part of the chain, and in a minute I change it anyway. I swap it around to make sure I plate the other side as well. So this one, see, I played the other side now, which is not really plated yet. So I turn it around, plate this side. Yeah, and the same again. And I play it, depends, if you wear it a lot, I would play it for at least, I don't know, 10 minutes, believe it or not. I would take my time to build up. You go over and over again to build up a really nice thick layer. The more you play it, the thicker it gets. If you play like 4 or 5 microns on it, it will last a little while and doesn't wear off as quickly. The more you play it, the thicker it gets, the less it wears off, of course. So you can plate. Well, I've played silver in a tank. We played before a test plate of about 500 microns. This means you see the thickness. It was very thick. You see the difference in the thickness, so it becomes solid basically. Anyway, because there are people that are saying it's not real. Yes, it is not. It is real silver, it's real gold, what we do, but the plating is so thin it wears off. This has nothing to do with the stuff what we put on. It's real silver. The gold what we put on is real gold, but it's a very, very thin layer. So of course it will wear off, unless you plate a massive, massive amount on there. Look, now what I do now, I turn it to the left. This is why I hooked it in as well there, the chain, to make sure I get the inside of each little, what do you call them, chains, you know, I plate them out. So now I hold the tray with my, you can see it, I hold this with one arm, with my belly as well, yeah. And now I plate basically the inside and areas which you normally don't see these areas anyway, unless you turn the chain a little bit, each little bit, as you can see. So this means now they are plated inside, so the swap is moving a little bit. Yeah, and then underneath, because I should turn it and then do it again. But make sure you take your time though, and make sure you plate for a while again. I would, in this case, I would spend another 4 or 5 minutes there maybe, only to plate this area. So when you're done, put it back to normal, and then, yeah, you're basically more or less done. But there's another, of course, there are another 2 sides of it. There's the front, there's the back, and the left and right side, which because it's a quite big chain. With its smaller chain, you don't need to do this because you played everything anyway. This one, now I played this one, this side, just to make sure it's already covered, because you reach it with the swaps anyway. Underneath, so take your time again, but this one wears not off. It doesn't wear off as quickly as the other sides, of course. When you're in contact constantly on the skin with this chain, then it wears off quicker. So then make sure when you're done, rinse it very well, and yeah, I rinse it, and it's basically done now. Basically done, and make sure you dry it very well, and then yeah, make sure you dry it very well, because if you leave it like this wet and leave it overnight, it is maybe tarnished. Hold on, I'll show you now how it looks like. And the chain's inside what I turned earlier. So normally you don't see it. When you have the chain like this, you don't see it, really. But look what I'll do in a minute. Hold on. Now I turn them just to show you. It looks brilliant. It's nice and shiny. I'll turn them inside. Now you see the hook inside, each chain inside, and it's plated as well. Normally, if you don't turn them, it will not be plated in there. You will maybe see a little plaque area there. Yeah, and if you want to do cold plating, say for example you have a silver one, now this one you want to cold plate, you do the same way, basically. Exactly the same way. Any information about this, if you want to know anything about plating or so on, plating kits I sell on eBay, I sell on my website. All the details are in my description, or I'll put it up here now. I'll put some up here. And yeah, all the swaps, everything, you can get it from there. Any questions, just ask. And yeah, that's it basically. See you in the next. Please subscribe and put the bell on, and then you'll see every time. I try to post the video once a week, but I can't always because of time ways.
It's 18 hours.
And it's 18 hours, by the way. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, put the bell on, and see you next time in my next video. Goodbye.